Okay, y'all, let's be honest. This is just a little bit weird, right? I would much rather be with you face to face, but for the time being, we'll just have to settle for this recording. Because clearly coronavirus has called for social distancing in order to flatten the curve. So we're not supposed to gather face to face in large groups, which poses a challenge for church, which by definition means gathering. But still we're here, gathered together as church, virtual church. Look, I'm not going to say in the midst of us gathering, don't worry, because fear is part of being human, and these are frightening times. But what I am going to say, however, is that we're going to make it. We're going to get through it because we are resilient people. We've got our Bibles, we've got our Lysol, so we're good, and everything is going to be all right. That being said, I'm 100% certain that I'm not the only one who has been a little bit annoyed recently. Disrupted schedules, canceled trip, stock market drops, prohibitions, quarantine, standing in extraordinarily long lines in the grocery store just trying to get paper towels. It's a frustrating time, to say the least. And I'm less interested in being frustrated with my frustration as I am in making sure that the frustration does not consume me. My intention for these times is not to dismiss what I'm feeling and to rush to get over it, because we really don't know how long it will last. But what I am going to do is remember that while we're in it, God is in it with us. God is still with us. God is still in the midst, and we can still be church together because it is written in Matthew 18, verse 20, "For where there are 2 or 3 gathered together in the name of Jesus, the Christ is there in the midst of them." So in the midst of this all, I'm going to allow myself to feel what I feel, to feel the frustration and the worry and the disappointment and the anger and the annoyance. And in the midst of all that, I will remember that I am not alone in this, that we are not alone in this, and we have each other, that God dwells. God dwells in the frustration. God dwells in the in-between, in the midst, among, between here and there, between where we are and where we want to go. God is right there. God is right here between uncertainty and blessed assurance. God is right here in the midst of fear and love. God is right here in between faith and science. God is right here among the church and the community. So the invitation during these times is that we might live beyond the binaries, because I believe that it's not either or. Right now it's both and everything in between. So let us dwell here, or tarry, right here in the midst, because right where we are is where we might discover what we need to know and what needs to be learned right here in this place. So when fear surfaces, I'm going to make a little bit more space for love and move to the other side of the binary, because they both do exist. And I would choose to practice and invest time in the place that gives me what I need, that gives me joy. Right? Ancient wisdom speaks to us. The book of Genesis in chapter 50, verse 20 says that what could have done us harm, God uses for good. While God never intends for our suffering, still the Lord works in mysterious ways. So we have an opportunity right here in this place, an opportunity to remember, an opportunity to reimagine, an opportunity to rethink why and how we do what we do. During these rough times, we have an opportunity to reconsider what we spend our time doing and why it matters. It has been said by Parker Palmer and the Center for Courage of Renewal that when the going gets rough, turn to wonder. So I wonder what might happen if we wonder what might happen. Yes, we've been praying for God to do a new thing. Well, God is doing a new thing. It's happening. Sure, in unimagined ways, but still, it's happening. Right, I was planning to record this message from Union Sanctuary, but then I was reminded that church has less to do with the building than it does with the people. Actually, there's a song about it. Church is not a building. The church is not a steeple. The church is not a resting place. The church is a people. The church is home, spiritual home, a different kind of church, yes. So yeah, I'm still recording from church, from Union, because Union exists, the church exists wherever the people are gathered, wherever there is home. Right? We must remember that the first Christians actually didn't meet in big buildings and beautiful cathedrals. Actually, the first followers of Christ met with Jesus in homes, under trees, in fields, along the seashore, on the way from here to there. So here we are, in Roberts, in my home in Roxbury, having house church. And I wonder, what if, once coronavirus is a thing of the past, we kept being that different kind of church? A kind of church that meets in homes again, that kind of church that calls to check in on its family members in good times and in bad, the kind of church that goes back to the basics, kind of church that regularly rethinks and reimagines what's most important. So here's 3 things I want to leave you with. 3 L's that might guide us during these days. Number 1, lean in. Lean into Lent. This season in which we find ourselves is a season of intention and preparation that is described as a wilderness journey. Because yes, right now, we're in the wilderness. So during this wilderness time, spend time in spiritual disciplines, spiritual practices, reading the Bible, prayer, meditation. Because one thing is for sure, we've all got more time on our hands than we had planned. So during this time, center down, recenter, place at the center the things that matter most, that will help us practice our resilience. Number 2, lean on one another, because we can do this and we can make it because we've got each other. We've got this. And 3rd, lead through. Let's imagine new possibilities and forge new paths. And as the Spirit leads us, let us lead others by casting a vision for a better future. In Union, let's emerge from this stronger than we ever could have imagined. So lean in, lean on, and lead through. As I close, we must not forget that March is still Women's History Month, and I cannot help but wonder whether things would be a little bit different if a woman was running things at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. But I digress. But still, as I look toward a better future, I turn to the ancient wisdom offered by Julian of Norwich, a female mystic who lived 600 years ago. And I close with her words. And all shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well, because God is in the midst. Be blessed, y'all.